Dear friends, this is episode number 13 of the Limitation Act. At present, we are dealing with section 5. Some more decisions I would like to cite. They are 2012 5 SEC 157. Parallel citation AIR 2012 Supreme Court 1629. Maniben Devraj Shah versus Municipal Corporation of Brihan Mumbai, BRIHAN, Brihan Mumbai. That was an appeal by the municipal corporation. There was a delay of 7 years and 108 days. The ground stated was misplacement of necessary papers. Question was whether it can be condoned. The Supreme Court held that delay cannot be condoned in such circumstances and no premium can be given for total lethargy or utter negligence on the part of the officers of the state or its agencies or instrumentalities. Applications filed by them for condonation of delay cannot be allowed as a matter of course by accepting the plea that dismissal of the matter on the ground of bar of limitation will cause injury to public interest. That always may not be a ground. That always, whenever there is a public matter, there will be public interest also. But that is not a ground for condoning the delay and causing prejudice to the opposite side. No premium can be given for the total lethargy or utter negligence. That is a point held. Then another decision, 2013 volume 2 KHC Kerala High Court cases 425 division at the single bench. Bashir M. Picha, PICHA, and another versus Indian Bank. It was held that the length of delay is not very material. If the explanation was genuine and was not put forward as a dilatory tactics, and when there is no ground to think that the delay was deliberately occasioned to gain time, the court should lean in favor of the applicant so that the case would be decided on the merits. This is what is held. Next, 2012 SEC 693. Madhuri Goud, G-O-U-D, Goud versus Damodar Reddy. What is sufficient cause? The party had admittedly knowledge of ex parte decree and he instructed his counsel to file appeal. But he did not make any effort to ascertain the fate of appeal, which was supposed to have been filed 4 years prior to the date. And when it was filed, the application for condonation of delay was not sustained by affidavit of advocate concerned. It was held that the explanation for delay was not credible, vague to the core, and it was held that though sufficient cause for the delay must be liberally viewed in a pragmatic manner to subserve ends of justice, reasons must be there. Discretion to condone delay should be based on not on the length of delay but on sufficient or satisfactory explanation. I will read a short paragraph from this judgment. That is the facts of the case. Almost 4 years of the passing of the ex parte decree by the trial court and 1 year and 8 months of the dismissal of CMA by the High Court. The respondent filed an appeal under section 96 CPC. He also filed an application for condonation of 1236 days of delay by stating that he handed over the papers to the counsel on such and such date for the purpose of preparing the grounds of appeal. But the certified copies of documents were misplaced by the office of the advocate, and the same could not be traced despite best efforts. And further, it was alleged that the counsel on a later date, the counsel date is also given, the counsel discovered that the documents have been inadvertently tagged with the record of another case. There, it was held, the party did not make any effort to ascertain what happened. He engaged a lawyer, he says that it was misplaced there, but what did he do? All these are facts to be considered in order to ascertain whether there is sufficient cause for condoning the delay. That is a fact to be proved in each case, and the discretion of the court can be exercised depending on the facts and circumstances of each case, and there are certain common standards for applying these things. But two cases are not always alike. 2016 4 Kerala High Court cases. 2016 4 Kerala High Court cases. 829 Division Bench. Kerala State Electricity Board versus Pricot Meridian. Pricot, P-R-E-C-O-T, Meridian. That was a case of inordinate delay of 1225 days in representing a writ appeal by the Kerala State Electricity Board. Appeal was filed, it was returned as defective. For representation, the delay cost was 1225 days. No sufficient cause is set forth for condoning delay. Acts of negligence or inaction on the part of the litigant do not constitute sufficient cause for condonation of delay. The application was dismissed. Next is AER 2016, Supreme Court 3006, parallel citation 2015, volume 15, SCC 602. State of Jammu and Kashmir versus R.K. Zalpuri and others, Z-A-L-P-U-R-I, Zalpuri and others, and some pronounce it as Jalpuri. Delay, that is Article 226 proceedings. Writ petition challenging the order of dismissal from service filed after a delay of 5 years of the dismissal. The employee was dismissed from service in 99, but he chose not to avail any departmental remedy. He woke up from his slumber to knock at the doors of the High Court after a lapse of 5 years. The staleness of the claim remained stale, and it could not have been allowed to rise like a phoenix by the writ court. The petition was dismissed. Next, another Supreme Court judgment, 2002, 3 SEC 195. Parallel citation, AIR 2002, Supreme Court 1201. Ramnath Sao, SAO, alias Ramnath Sahu and others versus Govardhan Sao and others. What is sufficient cause for setting aside abatement of a suit or and condonation of delay? And a liberal interpretation and balance between rights of parties is necessary. Liberal interpretation is required, straitjacket formula it is not possible, etc. etc. I will read paragraph 2. Order impugned in this appeal has been passed by a division bench of the Jharkhand High Court, so and so. 116 acres of land was involved. And the appeal filed by the defendants against the decree passed in that suit was dismissed, holding that the entire appeal has become incompetent as during the pendency of the appeal some of the respondents expired. Some of the defendants expired. Respondents expired, and as no steps for substitution of their heirs and legal representatives were taken within the time prescribed. The same abated, and the application for substitution of their heirs after setting aside abatement and condonation of delay was rejected after recording finding that no sufficient cause was shown. This was the subject matter of the appeal before the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court held, in view of the foregoing discussion was there, all the relevant decisions were cited, considered by the Supreme Court. And in view of the foregoing discussion, we are clearly of opinion that on the facts of the present case, the division bench of the High Court was not justified in upholding order passed by the learned single judge, whereby prayers for condonation of delay and setting aside abatement were refused, and accordingly the delay in filing the petition for setting aside abatement is condoned, abatement is set aside, and the prayer for substitution is granted. Appeal was allowed. Now one more decision on section 5, that is a Kerala High Court judgment, 2016 Kerala High Court cases 893. Sarojini Amma MC and others versus P. Gopalan and others. That was an application under Order 9 Rule 13 to set aside an ex parte decree. Even if some of the defendants have not appeared and did not file application to set aside the ex parte decree, if the decree passed is indivisible in nature, then the court can set aside the entire decree, ex parte decree, and condone after condoning the delay, etc. Court must be liberal in considering the application for condonation of delay, etc. All those Supreme Court judgments were cited, and even if some of them did not appear before court or did not file an appeal, if the decree is indivisible, then the ex parte decree can be set aside on the application of one of such parties. That is enough. This is what is held. Now we are coming to a close of section 5. I have taken so much of time while dealing with section 5. I said as a prelude that this occurs is an everyday matter in the actual practice. Therefore, I have cited not even 1% of the various or 10% of the various decisions, just as model. Some of them were cited. And you will be facing with various circumstances, various reasons, various contingencies in the matter of condonation of delay. So it is the area where the advocates have to master the subject, be aware of it, and then put the facts in such a way that the discretion is exercised in your client's favor. And the opposite party, just the other way about. And that is a matter which is to be considered by the court depending on the facts and circumstances of each case. Now we will go to next section, 6. 6 I will say 6, 7 and 8 we will consider together. That constitutes a scheme. I will explain with examples and I will cite some of the important decisions. Not very easy, not so difficult also. But the words are it is not so easy to read and understand, but not so difficult also. So we will go by the section and then we will come back to, we will go to the decisions and the principles. Now I will read section 6. Where a person entitled to institute a suit or make an application for execution of a decree. See the wording? I said that there are 3 categories of cases in coming under the Limitation Act: appeal, application, suit, appeal or application. Here, the categories which are covered by section 6 are suit or an application for execution of decree, which is absent in section 5. You see the distinction between section 5 and 6. Section 5, suit and application for execution of decree are out. 5, section 5. So for section 5, for extension of time, that is condonation of delay. For filing a suit, you cannot condone the delay. For filing an execution application also, you cannot condone delay. That the court does not have the power to condone delay. When coming to section 6, see the conspicuous absence of other items. Where the person entitled to institute a suit or make an application for the execution of the decree. These are the 2 categories which are covered by section 6. At the time from which the period is to be prescribed period is to be reckoned, a minor or insane or an idiot, he may institute the suit or make the application within the same period after the disability has ceased, as would otherwise have been allowed from the time specified therefore in the 3rd column of the schedule. But just plain reading, the students or young lawyers may not so easily follow. So we will dissect it. What are the items covered by section 6.1? Suit or application for execution of a decree. What does it say? A person is entitled to institute a suit or make an application for execution of the decree, for which there will be a period of limitation and there will be a prescribed period. Then it says, if such person is at the time from which the prescribed period is to be reckoned. Prescribed period is to be reckoned. What is the period reckoning? Cause of action arises or a particular thing happens. The third column. Where at that time this particular person is a minor or insane or an idiot, then he may institute the suit or make the application within the same period after the disability has ceased. Disability is over, as would otherwise have been allowed from the time specified therefore in the third column of the schedule. So, the period of limitation will be reckoned from a particular date. I will take any article. I saw article 127 to set aside a sale, 60 days. Time begins to run from the date of sale. So that is the period from which the period is to be reckoned for arriving at the prescribed period. Now I got 72. Just say on a random, for compensation for doing or omitting to do an act, etc., 1 year when the act or omission takes place. Third column. So period of limitation is 1 year, third column when the act or omission takes place. That third column period is the period from which the prescribed period is to be reckoned. Prescribed period is to be computed. Starts from that time. So when at the time when the limitation starts, it is at that time the three categories mentioned, that minor, idiot or insane person, that minority or insanity or idiocy is to be reckoned from the date when the cause of action is to be, the time of prescribed period is to be reckoned, not thereafter. Not thereafter because section 9 covers it. Once the period of limitation has begun to run, nothing stops it. I will read immediately section 9. Continuous running of time. Continuous running of time. Where once time has begun to run, no subsequent disability or inability to institute a suit or make an application stops it. So once time has begun to run, starting, that takes, stopwatch starts. What is a period? Say 3 years. 3 years start span when a thing happens as shown in the third column of the schedule. That starts. On that date, this particular person who has to file that is a minor or insane or an idiot. Then what happened? Time will not run. Time will not run. He may institute the suit or make the application within the same period after the disability has ceased. So at the time when a suit is to be filed, period of limitation is to be reckoned, begins to run as per the third column of the schedule. This man is minor. Person is a minor. So limitation does not begin to run. During the minority. After cessation of the minority, he gets the same period after that date. Say for example a suit is to be filed within 3 years from the date of that reckoning of time. He is a minor, aged 10 years. He will attain majority on after expiry of 8 years. We have to wait till that. Then he will get the same period after that date, after 8 years. Of course, there is an exception in section 8 which we will come to later. So generally speaking, going by the wording of section 6, A period for filing a suit is 3 years. On the date on which the period is to be reckoned, he is a minor aged 5 years. To attain majority, he has to pass 13 years. So this minor will get 3 years after 13 years. That is the protection given to such persons. We will deal with the rest in the next episode. Thank you.